At the back, normally I start at the back. So here's the on and off switch of the unit. Here is the LAN port, so this is really to connect to a network or to a normal patient monitor. And here we have this I/O port, which you can use if you want to use it in a sleep lab. This is the serial port, which you use if you connect it to VSTATs. Yeah, for that you need your computer. And with every unit which we sell, we provide a serial to USB cable, so it should be easy. It's easy to kind of like connect it to your PC. And this is the charging cable. Yeah, so the charging cable, normally charging, how long it takes? How long? Charging?
4 hours. 4 hours.
4 hours fully charged, and then it has a memory of, it has a battery life of, so I'm so distracted by all this video in here. Then it's like, has a battery life of 12 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the gas slot. The gas, very often people tend to turn it like really tight, and that's absolutely not needed. I always say 5-6 turns, that should be sufficient. Okay. Then we move the unit to the front. You see the calibration is still in process. I've set this unit to the neonatal mode, and you do that in the menu, and I will show you. So every unit comes with 4 modes pre-programmed. NICU or neonatal, and then ICU, sleep, and home care. Here what you see, so here you see exactly to what mode it is set. And here you see V-sign, which is for adult, pediatric, and neonatal. Okay. Yeah, and we have it in the NICU modus. Then here, since we have it in the neonatal NICU modus, it's automatically set to 41 degrees temperature. You also see that the side time protection is activated. Yeah, if it was not activated, it would be a straight line here in red. But now it is doing a drop down here to the blue, so that means if side time has elapsed, it will automatically stop to heat the sensor. Calibration in process, that is what we are waiting for. Then here you see that the unit is 100% charged. This has to do with the atmospheric pressure. I never explained that because it's absolutely not important. This is the available monitoring time. And remember that if you have the unit on, we had 2 times of stabilization.
Yes.
Once when you switch the unit on, and once when you put it on the skin to the baby or to your patient. Then here again you see that it is set to 41 degrees Celsius, and we also see that the gas is filled to 100%. Yeah? The enabled parameters with our V-sign sensor, since we are doing neonatal, SpO2 is not enabled.
Possible.
Yeah? Okay. And then we have like available monitoring time is now 0. Had I switched on my unit well in advance,
So it will appear the time.
My mistake.
It's okay.
It would have appeared already like 8, 6, 12, 4, whatever hours. Membrane change is due in 28 days. I just changed the membrane. Recommended sensor stabilization time, 90 minutes. Had I been smart and had I switched it on before lunch, then it would have not been an issue. Okay. Then time and date you can change very easily. You go here in the menu, and you can go into system information. And I must admit, I also sometimes need to double check all these things. Interface, system settings, that's where I need to go. Date and time. That's something to remember. When you change the date and time, it will always clear the trend data. So make sure that before you place it for a demo, and if they want to download the data, that you have the right time and date that you have that entered. So date, month, it is the 10th month. Is it still October? Yeah.
Yes.
We are in 2022. It's 10 o'clock in Europe. What time is it here? 4 o'clock, 1600 or 1500?
It's really 50. 355.
56.
Yeah.
Oh, 56 already.
56.
Mm-hmm.
We say enter because we want to change. 56 and so many seconds, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we say enter.
May I ask a questions? How many memories each unit has?
227 hours.
270.
227
Okay,
hours.
227 hours.
Yeah, it's about 9 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
227 jam. Waktu memorinya dia nyimpan sampai 227 jam.
Okay. What can I tell you while we are? So now you see we've changed the time and the date. But it's very important that when you do this, you go to the system settings, that you always, so that if you set the time and date, you scroll through the menu, you always end set, like set the time and the date, and you hit enter. Because if you skip this step, it will not change.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
so
is to save the setting.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Now, what you also see here, what you see here is that we measure the PCO2 in millimeters mercury.
Okay.
I think you use millimeters mercury, but if you are using kilopascal, it is possible to set to kilopascal. Here you see here the alarm settings, what we put in here. 55 upper limit, 30 lower limit. If you have a very sick baby, you can even put the upper limit up to say 60. Lower limit I would always leave to 30. Remember, we don't want these hypercardia and we don't want hypocardia. Normal settings for a normal breathing patient, whether it's an adult or a pediatric, is anywhere between 35 and 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, please repeat again. For the neonate, the limit.
For neonates in very sick babies, I would put the upper alarm setting, so anywhere, say 55 or 60, not higher. We recently had a baby in South Africa and they called me in panic and they said, "Woo, the CO2 is 80." And the doctor doesn't believe it. And I said, okay, take a blood gas. And it turned out this baby was very, very hypercarbic. Yeah. So here also we see the SpO2. But tell me, in the NICU setting, are we going to measure SpO2, yes or no?
No, it just appear PCO2 or oxygen PO2 also.
Very good, yeah. So here we put the upper and the lower alarm settings to 185. Okay. Now we have the perfusion index. Any idea what that is? Since you sell SpO2 as well?
No, perfusi index
Perfusion
untuk apa
index.
dokter?
How efficient the oxygen change with the blood, maybe?
Perfusion index gives you an idea how well the perfusion is. So if you occlude it, yeah, the perfusion index is not so good.
Okay.
Yeah, so think about the curve when you have like with SpO2. Yeah, if that curve is somehow flat, then the perfusion index is not so good. Yeah, normally you have a nice curve. Yeah. Okay. And then we have the pulse rate, which is beats per minute, and that is upper alarm limit 150, lower alarm limit 140 and 50. Okay. So now here you see in the intro we are ready for use. We see that here, and you see that the monitoring time all of a sudden jumped to 6 hours, which is great. Okay. Now we go back to the screen. Ready for use. Okay, I'm going to use you.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah?
It's okay. But first I want to ask again,
Yes.
what is the symbol about?
This has to do with pressure, environmental pressure.
Okay,
Yeah.
describe the environmental
Yeah.
pressure. So the unit is anything?
No, no,
Okay.
no. And again, neonatal use, NICU, V-sign, adult pediatric neonatal, remember, one for all sensor. And since we have it in the neonatal NICU setting, automatically the temperature is set.
41.
I'm going to show you also later on when we set it to adult. You will see this is changing. And we've got side time protection on. What was side time protection again? Anyone?
So it will not burn the skin, right? Just only the limit of the temperature is 41. And oh no, just for one side it's maybe limit the time 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours, but we limit it to 4 hours.
So if that side time has elapsed, if we are done with the 4 hours,
It's not hitting anymore.
exactly. Side time protection. Okay. So here we see again neonatal NICU enabled parameters, PCO2, available monitoring time, 6 membrane changes due in 27.8 days because I just changed it. Recommended sensor stabilization time 89 minutes, but we're not going to do that. So
But if we make it stay like this, will it add the available monitoring time?
of course,
Okay.
very good. You've got the hang of it. You understand this principle. So now I'm going to clean your forehead.
Forehead?
Yes.
Which one you want to use? The left side or the right side? Both of is okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, that's okay. Lulu likes my mother when cleaning my face.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, it could be your mother, considering my age and your age. And what is really important is when you place the sensor or the attachment ring, you always touch it, you know, you make sure that there's a really good seal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sure.
And I'm using here the attachment ring easy. Remember, the multiple teeth. I think the ones you have is gray. You will see it white or gray. And this has, I call it the teeth. It's almost like kids' teeth.
Yeah, not only for
Yeah, and the beauty of this is, and it's there, for that reason it's called easy, is that it snaps in very easy, and you will see that now. You see?
but it's still for neonate. It's okay to use.
Ah, yeah, it's fine. It's just, yeah, yeah.
And then we should take it like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm going to use the cable cleat for, yeah, so now first I'm going to take the sensor out, and I'm going to use
Gel.
The gel.
1 drop of gel, 1 drop per
One
people,
drop of gel.
not like 5 milliliters at once, 1 drop.
The sensor.
This is it, big drop,
Sensornya ya.
big drop. Now we're going to place it onto the, you see, it snaps very
Yeah.
easy.
Yes, it's easier.
No
than-
pressure,
Di sensornya bukan
no
jadinya.
pressure.
Bukan. Bukan.
Then we turn it around so that we have a very good spread.
I think we should close this one, right?
Wait a second, you're going too quick.
Okay.
And I always use the cable cleat so that it doesn't pull the sensor. And now I'm going to close the door. And what we see now here is PCO2 stabilizing. Yeah, so it's finding the right balance here on her head. And you will see here, if you look well, that the number is in gray.
Yes, gray
Yeah.
heavily.
And once the sensor is stabilized, the number will turn in green. So it does it automatically. Now, what we have activated here, we've got different types of screens. Can you see? Yeah. Okay, so it's still gray and it's building up. I'm going to show it to you as well. It's building up the number. And then once it's stabilized, it will automatically show the number in green.
In green.
What is also activated here is the relative heating power. And we express that in microwatts. Yeah. What was relative heating power again for, guys? Who can
How
tell?
good? Okay, you wanna answer it?
Please.
Please, Yolanda,
Okay,
please.
how many energy it spends depend on the surface temperature.
Yes. Yeah. So if I'm very cold,
Yeah, it will give more energy to heat.
it needs more energy. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And it can be a very early indicator for what?
Sepsis, fever.
Sharp. I've learned that word. Sharp.
Shock, etc.
Shock, yeah.
Okay. Now, when we are here in this menu, and you will see a trend also. I always use these settings, the standard settings like 75 and 25 and minus 20 and plus 20, so that you see a proper trend. When I do a demo, and I mentioned this already to you guys when we were there, when we go into measurement settings, I use the time range for the trend, I use 15 minutes because then you can really show something.
Oh, we can.
Jadi
change
nanti
Yeah,
it.
because then you see a trend. Is this an aha moment?
Yeah, this one is an aha moment.
Okay. Enable parameters. Since we are in a neonatal mode, we do PCO2. Temperature settings. You will see if we go in here that select sensor temperature anywhere between 40 and 43. But it also says, and this is really ultimate safety, recommended sensor temperature 41. Recommended side time 8 hours, but we only have 6 hours here. So the rest is also side time protection is on. So if we switch that off, let me show you what it then shows you. Which I never recommend that you change. You see now the little arrow is red straight all over. You see? Yeah.
This
Can you
is
see?
so off. Yeah,
Off.
I see.
Yeah.
It went off.
Yeah, but I am going to switch it back to on because it's super important that we have that on. Then we go to the relative heating power. So we have a trend with relative. Absolute is numbers. I never use that. And then the relative heating power range we set between -20 and +20, which is normally more than enough. If you want to go one step back in the screen, touch the top one. Yeah. Now also here you have the different screen options. You see, if you only say I'm only interested to see the trend on the sorry, on the PCO2, or if you say I want to see everything,
I want to see everything.
there are two options here.
Yeah.
When you are in the
Because it's
adult
the-
mode, you can also show relative heating power, SpO2, perfusion index, and so on. So this is now basically what we are waiting for the sensor to stabilize. While we do this, maybe I can show you quickly what it does if we go into a other profile setting. Let's see, measurement settings. No. And again, I also need to look from time to time where we are. Profiles, here we go. If I now go into, you see here, critical care.
Oh,
You can change it in
Yes. Yeah.
but it's for a new version, or we can use it in our unit.
Yes, of course, you also have that. So we say now we go confirm to yeah. So now standard profile, critical care. Status, verify alarm limits, because now these alarm limits change. I'm not sure why it's still showing now Neo, but anyway, that is how you change the profile.
Can we change EQ into PQ?
You can. There's also one in there.
True and adults.
I don't know what I need to do. Measurement settings. I need to set patient time. And all that. 50 seconds. Change. Choose pressures. Like I said, I also sometimes need to have a look.
Ah, it already turned into green.
Yes, which is good.
But the number is not that good.
It is good. It's perfect. Yeah. I am going to switch now back to. I should not change these things while we are doing these things.
Normalnya berapa dong?
Biasanya kan bisa 35 sampai 45.
Tapi katanya boleh.
Ini kalau neonatus sampai 55 Bu.
30 memang.
Normal ya?
Nah, range-nya ya.
Maybe Yolanda hiperkapnia.
Because I'm using a mask right now.
Iya.
Yeah.
Right now we're back to the NICU where we started.
Bisa lucu ya.
Waduh, naik terus.
Naik terus ini.
Unit pull up.
So This is now what we see, and this is once the sensor has stabilized. And again, we can, 47 is normal. Actually, this does
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
It's what we call rebreathing. So
Yes.
you're basically inhaling your own air again, your
Yeah.
own
To increase the
CO2.
CO2.
I'm sure if you take the mask off, it will go down with 2 or 3 millimeters
Yeah.
mercury.
You wanna try that?
Yeah.
That?
If you want to do it, it's fine.
Try it, just or not.
Okay, I
Put
will
out the
try
mask
it.
and inhale the oxygen.
Exhale, I mean, you
Exhale the
exhale.
CO2.
Yeah.
It trigger me.
Exhale, but it still keep increasing.
It didn't process, right?
Even you exhale.
Hmm.
Fuh, gitu ya. Tarik nafas, keluar.
Udah dibuka.
Cuma balik ke aja.
Waduh,
Bisa kasih
Udah apa ini,
oksigen.
Dok?
Kasih oksigen.
Oksigennya itu
Oksigen konsentrate.
Dok, David.
Hah? Ini ada hasil normalnya itu.
5
Iya.
tuh, naik turun tuh.
30
If you
sampai
go like,
50 sampai 55.
55 ya kan.
Nah, tuh harus cepet ya.
you will blow off CO2.
Okay, I will try it.
Try it, yeah.
Aduh, bau.
Aduh.
Tuh jam turun tuh.
Hah?
They said,
30 55.
okay, I should try that one.
55.
But no.
Tapi beda-beda sih. Hmm. Nah itu tuh. Hah?
So the trend will only appear after 15 minutes.
Now,
on the
now,
display.
already
Okay.
now.
Oh.
So you see it already is dropping. Breathe again.
Should I really doing
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of breathing?
What is that?
No, it's tiring.
I know.
Ini pakai ventilator.
Ada oksigen.
But you see how. But I also want. I'm asking you to do this to show you the effect you are blowing off your CO2.
Ya.
But I'm also showing you how quickly the machine reacts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So now try to hold your breath.
Dan tahan.
Tahan apa sekarang?
Coba tahan.
Iya, nah itu.
10 menit.
Tahan ngisap yang bola juga.
Hold, 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 hold,
Gak apa-apa.
hold, hold, hold. This is still the effect of you.
Iya. Ya, efek yang tadi.
And once you feel like you cannot hold anymore, then slowly breathe out through your nose.
Normalnya.
I once had somebody pass out on this little test, by the way, but you're good.
Untuk nanti.
Ini efek bersama nasi padang.
Okay, you
berarti
can
bisa
slowly
deh.
breathe out.
Wah, diving sampai berapa meter nih?
Sebentar nanti efeknya belakangan baru naik ya.
Iwan mesti tahu tuh nanti waktu ngajarin install kan.
Now you can start breathing slowly.
Good. Stabil now.
Yeah. But you see also the trend stopped. So also an apnea, it will pick it up straight away.
Hmm.
So you see now it's building up again.
Nah,
Yeah,
ya.
accumulate in my body.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So guys, you see how simple this is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you need to understand all these things we spoke about this morning and this afternoon in order to understand and explain this. All right?
How about the
RPH, RHP. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we now go to a different display. If we say we want to show the RHP, and if you see here and here, she stopped breathing. Yeah, so it shows 2 moments of apnea. That you stopped.
Yeah.
You were holding your breath. So now, with RHP, remember you said what is normal, +5 or -5. You really look at a starting point. And then if you see the trend going up or down, then you know It is different to the starting point. So let me have a look at this. Yeah, so you can't say my RHP is +5 or RHP of +5 is like normal. The RHP is really what it is when you start monitoring. So if, for instance, now you are developing a fever, like -1, I'm not concerned about, but if all of a sudden you drop, or you
Yeah,
drop, say,
no,
over
plus-
2
plus
hours to
-5.
-20,
Yeah.
Plus
then I
-5.
should start thinking,
Bagusan nol kan.
Iya.
right? Because then it tells me the sensor needs less power
Ada 1,0.
to heat up.
Okay.
Toleransi 5.
Iya.
So 0, it doesn't mean anything basically. So this is your reference point. You look at the beginning. So if all of a sudden it goes up after say an hour, or it goes down after an hour, then you should think, hey, what's going on? Am I maybe blocking the sensor? Yeah, we can try it actually. You see what happens?
Iya, it's going
Yeah,
higher.
Increasing faster.
Increase.
And minus.
Okay. So I'm releasing it now. But this is really what you can do when you are in a hospital scenario and you need to demo. Yeah?
Yeah.
I would try to keep it as simple as possible though, and really show people how to use the monitor. So sensor application is very important. The 1 drop of gel, how to apply the ring so that it nicely seals, and that you can show them how easy it is to actually read the numbers. Any questions? Because now you're going to do it yourself.
Ada pertanyaan?
I think try to set. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Maybe for the technician yang
Ayo,
paling
kamu dulu coba.
Iya, iya.
Ini masih